In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today, we are going to dig in to some philosophical and some ideas around how we should be picturing AI and technology and our teams, and how we should be with leaders, and maybe some help that we need in order to wind our way through the dynamism of AI as it's exploding into our lives. And today I have one of the most thought-provoking voices in today's technical landscape, Charley Johnson. He's a writer, thinker, and chief consciousness officer. Charley has a gift for decoding the intersection of AI, society, and leadership. And today we're going to explore how AI is reshaping human perception, why language and beliefs matter, and how to bring an increase in creativity and open-minded solutions. Charley, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing we got to do is we got to understand what does consciousness mean to you, and how you're using it here into the people that you work with.
Consciousness is everything physical and non-physical. And the best, let's go two things: consciousness and conscious. Conscious is more of a verb. You and I are conscious of each other. Yep. Our senses, right? It's a verb. It's something that's going on. It's seen, it's hearing, it's touching. Consciousness is a noun. Everything physical and non-physical is consciousness. All the sages talked about it as science and quantum entanglement starts to really understand what's going on. Everything's consciousness. So artificial intelligence, AI, everything you and I will discuss, everything that's you and I are swimming in it. Every person that's going to watch this is consciousness, physical, non-physical, your thoughts, everything. And then to a great metaphor, a wise fish swimming through the ocean swims by two young fish and says, "Hey boys, how's the water?" And the two young fish look at each other and say, "What's water?"
What's water? Right.
So we're swimming in it.
Yep.
We're swimming in it. Everything is consciousness.
All right. I like that. And then what I need to know is how you discovered this role for yourself.
I always screw this quote up. Invention is the mother of necessity, or necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So I crossed paths with a very enlightened teacher for a decade. Everyone who crosses his paths leaves the world behind. They'll go off to the Himalayas. They'll leave everything. Money's for the birds. No more capitalism. We go from one extreme to the next, right? We see through the illusion. We don't want to go back into the illusion, right? We've seen past the matrix. We don't want to go back into it. My karma was not that way. I spent 10 years trying to get rid of this passion because we always think passion is ego.
Right.
When we discuss it with this type of passion, it's ego, and ego's wrong, and ego this and ego that. We need to kill the ego. It didn't go away. And trust me, I had the highest level of individuals around me to strip that away. I meditated. I've done all this, all of it. My karma was to come back into this world and to bridge those gaps. Instead of an either or, instead of capitalism and spiritualism, instead of religion and spiritualism, instead of Republican and Democrat, it wanted me back in this world to bring consciousness to business, to corporations, to every level of human being, not the very small individuals, small group of individuals on the spiritual path. Because consciousness is not spiritual.
Right.
It's tactical. It's everything. So this position came about after years of helping individuals on the spiritual path, understanding that was a very small group, understanding that the impact could be made at a greater level by talking to the individuals who don't know what consciousness is, by bringing that to them, if they're religious, if they're Republican, if they're atheist, letting them know that they have access to this vast resource all the time.
Wow, I love it. Yeah. So one of the ways I heard this described is that you're on the razor's edge, right? You're you're always making your way back and forth between unconscious people and the acceptance and absorption of consciousness.
Yeah. But the crazy thing about the last couple months is I've got two things going for us. Consciousness is shifting like never before.
Yeah.
It is forcing people to become aware of this. It's getting them ready to be more open to it, to understand it, to be ready for it in a sense, right? Also, we've created a narrative and we're talking about it and bringing it to them in a way that they can understand it.
Mm-hmm.
If we have to Trojan horse in it, that's perfectly fine.
Right.
Meet them at their level. We can take someone from fourth grade, put them into fifth or sixth. We can take someone from elementary, jump them up into junior high, because the greatest impact is the mass majority of individuals understanding what consciousness is and that they have access to it. Not the small group of executives that have been going through conscious leadership for the last 20 years.
Right.
Because let me ask you, how does it look?
Right. Yep.
The world's more divided and conflicted than ever.
Right. It's interesting. So part of my philosophy as a leader in this transition that we're in is that AI has the capacity to take over a lot of mundane rote tasks, and that it frees up time. We know that we can take a project that would take 10 days and condense it down to 1 day. The question we have is, what do I do with those other 9 days now that I have that time freed up? And we have to make a decision of whether we're just going to go work more and try to make more money, or if we're going to take that time to learn about something that makes us valuable in the future, or if we're going to go spend time being creative, learning to play the guitar, paint oil, meditate, walk outside with my friends, family, and neighbors. So that's my position. I'd love to hear what your thinking is on that.
Well, just like everything else since the beginning of humanity, we've always chosen sides. It usually takes years, dozens of years, generations, like with religion or politics, to really create a divide. AI has created a divide almost immediately. There are people who are for it. There are people who are hell-bent against it, right? So it's just another leaf of a tree that's creating division and conflict. Perfectly fine. That's how we work. That's how humans and their mind works. The mind's always either or. What are we going to do with those extra days? I have no clue. Now, if I'm for AI, if I was a guest and I was for AI, I'm going to come up with those other 9 days being heaven on earth. We're going to figure out a new language, and it's going to be the best thing for humanity because I'm pushing that. Right. If I'm against it, I'm going to take those other 9 days and say, I have no clue what I'm going to do. It's going to be depressive. I'm losing my job, and the world's going to hell in a handbasket. You see the division there?
Yeah.
And you're only going to get guessed that, no, I have no clue. I have no clue. I know both are going to happen, actually. There are going to be people who are going to take advantage of it and learn a new language. There are going to be people who are scared to death of it, and it is going to ruin things. End of discussion. Right. Like there's no real, if you choose one side or the other, it's no different than what humanity's done in the past, and we're just going to create more division. So it's going to be both. The mind is an either or tool. It's both. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think it gives us the opportunity to make new decisions. I think that's kind of where I'm landing, is that we're able to get out of the salt mine of the computer work, let the software do the work, and then we have to make a decision on what am I going to do next. And I think in that Cartesian world, as you're discussing, if it's just either or, then we're gonna people will stay locked in the same lane. What I'm more Heideggerian in saying we have threats, we have opportunities, and we have obligations with AI. And in this situation, we're freed up to do some new things now. And my hope is that people will spend more time outside in nature by themselves. That's my hope.
Well, and that's a great hope, and that's what I assume everyone would hope for. What both sides will know is it is going to force people to change, just like a 12-year-old turning 13.
Yeah.
Or that woman that's turned 29 for the last decade, right? That's not going to happen anymore. It's forcing people to change, and there's going to be some that are fearful of it, and there's going to be some that are going to be open to it.
So then, in your role as the consciousness officer, what does that look like in terms of how do you bring that into an organization?
Just like this with these discussions, right? Because what we've done since the beginning of humanity, when the positions come in, you know for a fact where that position stands,
Right.
where that individual stands, even though they may say they're neutral, they're HR, they're the CEO, they're open to each their own. That's not how we function, right?
Right.
So this position comes in and discusses things very clearly from a high level of consciousness and allows everyone to go from here, this very limited perception, to an expanded awareness. What I do know is even when awareness is expanded a little, there's less division and conflict.
Mm-hmm.
For that side that's going to fear AI, if we can expand their awareness just by these conversations, the fish and water analogy, letting them know that artificial intelligence came from consciousness, their consciousness, they have access to it, they can expand, that's going to create less fear. That's going to take the fear away. Now, again, and I know this this sounds so simple and so childish, and it seems like if someone, any other position in the company, talks to anyone about AI, if they're part of the company and they're for profit, they're going to tell everyone AI is going to be good because they need people to be productive and while they're letting people go, right?
Right.
If they're against AI, they're just going to create more fear.
Right.
So one's lying and one's creating fear. So who's better? Heads or tails of the coin, right?
Yeah.
The question is, where did the coin come from? This position comes in and is open. It's neutral. It allows that both sides do have good arguments. It allows the individual to understand the neutrality of it. It gives the individual the power to see this how they choose to see it. It's on them. It's not some third party. It's not some authority. It's not some book. It's not their boss telling them. Because usually the gap between the executive and the employer right now is so wide that when the executive does talk, they could be 100% right, but the employee's like, this person's full of shit.
We're going to fight them. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to fight them no matter what.
Yep.
So again, this division and conflict, we have to go about this a different way. We have to shift things up and we have to come about it at a deeper level. And that's what a chief consciousness officer does because of their neutrality and their ability to see both sides and remove fear from one and bring the expectations down for the other.
Yeah, that triggers a couple things for me. One is that you're listening and meeting people in their narratives of their personal perceptions, and then you're able to help get them out of the fight or flight survival space and into another dimension. Yeah.
And again, if it's coming from someone they think is against them, they're not going to listen to them.
Sure.
If it's coming for someone who's for them, it's going to dig them deeper into I told you there's a lot of things I need to fear. You see what we've been doing since the beginning of humanity? You see the power of this position now? It's a neutral position that allows both sides to get better.
Right.
Less division and conflict. No one inside the company currently can do that because they're either for you or they're against you. They're going to either create more or they're going to create less. That's where this position becomes so powerful.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, there's the politics. Anytime there's two people or more, there's the political lines of how we should do things. And the old joke: you get 8 men in a room, you get 24 opinions. So, so it's interesting. I guess would you say that the chief consciousness officer or bringing consciousness into this is different than, say, emotional intelligence in that frame of psychology and business training?
Emotions, intelligence, conscious leadership, everything we've done, the latest book, the latest scientific study, the latest trend, all came from consciousness. Emotion, intelligence, EQ, all of these things that we're talking about, again, all of these solutions, these strategies, these
concepts,
these solutions, whatever it is. Sure. Where did it come from? It came from consciousness.
Right.
If we keep dealing at that level, we're going to get the same results. Just go one step deeper into consciousness, allow the individual to understand where all of these concepts are coming from. That creates less division and conflict. Again, it opens up both sides to just a little shift in their perception. Less bullshit from one, less fear from the other. That's the best we can do, because if we truly continue to do what we're doing and we think one side's going to merge everyone to their side and everyone's going to be okay with that, we've shown since the beginning of time that doesn't work. And right now, never been more conflicted and divided, especially this week.
Yeah. So I guess let's see. Let's talk a little bit about. Are you bringing any kind of practices in for the individuals of the teams to partake in?
No, because again, we've done 20 years of wellness programs. How's that working? Right. We've got here in the West specifically. I assume that's where most of your listeners are. We got a lot of Catholics, a lot of atheists, a lot of Baptists, right?
Yeah.
They were asked to meditate. You know how they believe in meditation? They think it's Buddhist, and they were completely turned off by it. Right. So the wellness programs are not working. Right. Whether you agree with what I just said, that's fine. Right. Yeah. But let's just look to the statistics of wellness programs, small, medium, and large companies. Last 20 years, we've never been more divided and conflicted. Right. Never had more books on happiness. We've never been so unhappy. Never had more coaches and consultants working on burnout and retention rates. Right. It's never been worse. Yeah. Right. So if this position comes in and says it's all one, it's all love, we're going to meditate this out, we're going to be mindful to it, that hasn't worked. Right. If I give them another tool, another practice, another technique, another solution, another program, again, I'm just coming at it the same level everyone else is attacking it with. Yeah. The same mind that creates problem can't solve it. This position comes in and opens everyone up naturally, just with their consciousness and these neutral discussions. Yeah, I know that seems vague, and I know everyone.
No. I get it. I hear you. Right? I hear you. What I'm hearing is that you're presencing. You're holding that space for these conversations.
We're holding the space, but this position has a business background, understands the spiritual path, and sees the whole picture and discusses it like you and I are discussing it. Yeah, because most people who think of a holding space, it's some tree hugging hippie that comes in and says it's all one. And people don't believe in that shit. That's fine. Right. Yeah, you can't help them if they don't believe in it. Right. So we got to talk to them at their own level. And we have these discussions, no matter who the person is, where they're at, in a way that opens them up.
I love it. Yeah. That's cool. That's a lot of cool stuff in there. So then you're part of the executive team. You're going to be there in meetings, in the exec meetings, and some department meetings, and you're there as kind of I would say a neutral force to draw people together and be able to have conversations that are not in survival conversations.
Correct. I mean, but it's also strategic when it comes to the CEO. If they're going to come out, they need a new industry to go after, a new strategy. Yeah. Well, if the CEO can only see the solutions inside this tiny little scope, if we expand, he's got better solutions. Right. We look at HR, they start hiring better. We look at marketing, they start becoming more creative. Yeah. Sales becomes more, has more access to new ideas. Production starts to see things differently. Customer service starts to see things differently. Yeah. So you're in the meetings, you're doing emails, you're doing travel and everything else, but you become a secret weapon. And once everyone starts to slowly, subtly see what happens when you're in the room or you give neutral advice, this position will not have enough time in the day because everyone's going to want access to him or her.
Yeah. It's interesting. And so not only have you developed this process for yourself, but you also are training other humans to do similar work under your direction. Is that true?
Yes. And again, there is not a lot of structure to the individuals that are crossing my path and saying, show me how to be a CCO. Because again, all the structure, the programs, the way we go about it in the past creates the same individual. This is an unlearning. This is a stripping away. This is a helping them understand what neutrality really looks like. Because I hear a lot of people say they're neutral. They're not. They're not, because I'll say something about, just to see what they think about one side of the politics. They say, I'm neutral, but I'm having a really hard time with what Trump does. Then you're not neutral.
Right.
I'm, to each their own, but if they're not,
but not that.
Then,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's got the, everyone's driving a Subaru with the coexist sticker. Those people terrify me. Yeah. We truly, we really need to understand what neutrality is, because agree to disagree, to each their own. We've been doing that for decades now, and look where we stand. Right. So this position, when people come and it clicks, they come, we start doing some training. We start really starting to ask questions. What books are they reading? What do they think about this? And we really start to strip away, like my teacher did to me. He didn't teach me anything.
Right.
he removed all the bias and the conditioning to get me to the point where I'm like, my God, both sides of every argument, they have no clue how much they're causing division and conflict. Every one of them is a part of the problem.
Right. Yep.
We got to create neutrality.
Yeah, I phrase it in that we're always in these tiny little power struggles, and Churchill said that the battles are so fierce because the stakes are so small, and so that's what everybody's constantly fighting for, is what everybody else has.
Yeah, and to make sure that their beliefs are heard and that they come out on top.
Yeah,
and one's moral code is not moral for the other, and vice versa.
Yeah, especially in the melting pot that we live in now, right? We're as diverse now in our country as I've seen in my life. So,
yeah,
I love the simplicity of it, Charlie, and I appreciate the descriptions and examples you've given. If people are interested in checking in with you and having a conversation, how do they do that?
I like them to come to LinkedIn. I'm very antisocial as it comes to anti-social media. So I stay on LinkedIn just because the conversation shows you what this position is, what it's not. It's the cleanest, it's the most professional. So just come there. You can DM me, message me. If you want to know what this position is, if you think you're a part of that movement and you want to become one, just message me and let me know.
All right. Well, I love the work that you're doing, and I will look to support it however I can. And
thank you.
I hope we can have a conversation again real soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Charlie. Well, I hope the conversation today was valuable for you, and that it created an awareness of how maybe you can bring neutrality into your teams and into your business, and that I hope that you have some questions for Charlie and reach out to him on LinkedIn. His information will be in the show notes. And again, my hope is that you dig in, find some AI tools that will free up time for yourself, so that you can continue to upskill in your life and spend more time with your friends, your family, and get outside and enjoy some time in nature. This is Emanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.